AllStays Pro uses full screen maps. We want the option for the most amount of data to be shown on your screen. It starts with a heat map since we are starting with over 90,000 map points. Then as you scroll in or filter, they turn into clusters and then the points start to show. In the upper left, we can zoom in and zoom out with the buttons. We can use the magnifying glass to type in a city. We can use the land layer to change. Satellite. We could add a traffic layer. We can do outdoors. We can put trails on the map. And we can do land status. Tapping on any map point brings up the detail view about the place. We have the name, the address, the GPS coordinates, a phone number you can tap to call. We have handwritten text directions for big rigs with exit information, roads you should take, maybe extra information about registering as in this case. Then we have GPS-based weather, the official website. An update info button allows you to send in corrections, comments, or reports about any point. We have the average user rating followed by a button to read or add your own review. Then we have a button that will search major travel websites for their reviews about this location. The photo option feeds the name of the place into a Google image search. This may or may not be precise, but you can adjust the search text once over on Google. Then we will have an online booking link right here if it's available. Next is full details about the place, all the amenities and so on. And finally, we have navigation options you can send over to any of your other favorite map systems. These will open the actual apps if you are using Pro on a mobile device. On the upper right, we have some more buttons. If you are zoomed in enough, you will see this download button. We'll tap that and you will see all the points change to a white highlight around them. This grabs all the details about the points in the current map view and stores them in your local browser cache. This means you can tap a point later when you have poor or no service and the data is already there. It'll come up nice and fast, even without service. Leave that browser tab open or even set up multiple browser tabs. Grab the details when you have good service and then it works better in more remote places later on. Then we have the location arrow to ask the web browser for your location. This may not be precise on Wi-Fi or on secure networks. A phone or cellular possible tablet will have precise location. The X button exits the map system. The flashlight funnel icon shows the filter menu. This is where all the power of AllStays lies. You can select by type. You can turn entire categories on and off. You can filter by amenities and other options below, which are covered in other videos as well. At the very top is the dashboard option. This changes the overall map data type. Everything is the biggest and has everything. Selecting any other dashboard and the data and filters change and become more specific for the type of data on the map. Selecting the rest area will give you rest filters. Walmart parking one will give you Walmart specific filters. If you just want camping only, that will show just the campgrounds and the camping related filters. For daytime, you might want the truck stops and rest areas and bridges and steep grades, and then the filters will be specific for those as well. So that is a quick run through of the basic screen and the buttons. There are many more videos that go into detail about each one of those. AllStays Pro has a few ways to search the map. You can zoom and pan, or you can use the current location button that'll find you, or we can use an address search. We go to the little magnifying glass here, We could jump to a state by typing in, say, AZ for Arizona, and you'll get a state view. This is a heat map. The points will start to show as you zoom in. Or we could type in a particular city like Tucson and select that, and you will zoom in on the city. We could type in an address if we know that of a particular place. Here is one up by Kingman. It does come up. We click that and we will find that park near Kingman, Arizona. Or we could type in Grand Canyon. We have some options: airport, skywalk. Looks like that might be the normal one there. And that's it. In AllStays Pro, we can show traffic right on the map. We start with our standard view over Los Angeles. We go up to our layer button. We go down, select traffic, and it will show it right on the map. To turn off, just deselect. AllStays Pro has a trail layer right on the map. Here we are around Woodland Park in Colorado. We go over to the layer menu and select trails. These are mainly major trails and may not include all of them. When you zoom in close enough, terrain and elevation numbers will show up. We do not list the trail details as that is not a AllStays specialty. This is just to give you an idea of their locations around campgrounds and other locations, and you can do your own research in your favorite trail guide. AllStays Pro has a public lands layer to show what type of land is there. We go up to our land layer menu, turn on the land one, and you can see the colors change for land status. This is great for when looking for boondocking spots. The colors will indicate BLM, Army Corps, forest lands, National Park lands, Fish and Wildlife lands, Department of Defense lands, Indian tribal lands. And note these are in 320 acre blocks for data size and speed. I wish it were down to even smaller bits of checkerboard land, but it just isn't possible on the system so far. AllStays Pro feeds the GPS coordinates of any point's location over to the National Weather Service. We click on Weather Report. There you can find a report from the closest weather station. You can check forecast, radar, satellite, and so on. This is more accurate than trying to find the largest major city and then putting that into another weather product, which usually uses the airport station. AllStays Pro helps to show you what you can expect as you travel. Here we are trying to plan a way out of Denver and into the Rocky Mountains. We can turn off the other categories: camping, fuel stops, stores. Now we use our filter button. We can turn that back off. This gives us a big road hazard overview. The bridge heights are marked right on the map. You can see this one is 1311, and it'll give you more details on the road. The road grade icons mark climbs and descents that are noteworthy, usually over 5% or extremely long, milder grades. You can read for more detail. The red arrows are runaway truck ramps. The details will tell you which side of the road they are on. This one is westbound off to the right. Hopefully you don't need one of those. AllStays Pro tries to make your travels easier and provide some shortcuts whenever possible. You can always enter a search on your own device, but most apps and sites are based on your location and do not easily allow you to research other locations for planning. So say you are staying or looking to stay at the wonderful Gilbert Ray campground outside of Tucson. So we have our pop-up view here. We go to our detail view. Down here we have nearby searches. So maybe you want some barista prepared coffee. This will feed the location into a Google search, and then plot the locations around you on a map. Or maybe we want to extend our stay, but the dirty clothes are piling up, so we want laundromats. There they are. We can find the nearest ones. We can read reviews, everything we normally do in Google Maps. Or maybe your pet has a problem, so you need a vet. We can choose veterinarians. Or maybe you need to mail off a gift, so you need post offices. And there they are. And we're always taking more suggestions if there's something that you would like to be added to that. Thank you. AllStays Pro keeps up with the various clubs and discount options. We can use our club filter here on the right side, and we can select any that we may use or be a member. So we could do Good Sam, Passport, Escapees, Coast to Coast, and all these places will be part of one or multiple clubs. And keep in mind that these are often seasonal in some areas, and we do not distinguish the markings for that as they can be so different. So a place in Florida will often not accept a shown club discount in the winter season. AllStays Pro tries to take the average nightly rate and show it. A location will often have a large variety of sites, so rates could be much lower or higher depending on the site that you want. Tents, for example, are often a lower price than an RV site. If you wish to filter the map for camping based on rates, we use the right side filter and look down towards the bottom for rates. Here we've already selected free and it shows the map. We could go a little more costly and it's going to add more. Or we could go 31 and under, so this is going to be $31 an average rate and under, which there's quite a few. And we could also do the opposite and search for the most expensive options on the map. AllStays Pro has user reviews only and shows the average star rating for those reviews. So it isn't based on the level of the resort. A open, dispersed piece of land could possibly be rated 5-star. But in order to filter by rating, we have the rating section over at the lower side of the menu. We could choose to see just 5-star places, or we could choose 3-star and higher. That will show 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star places only. If you would like to actually see the reviews or add your own, you click on the icon. And then we have our average rating here. You can see this one is a 4-star. And we have our buttons for Add See Reviews. We click on that, and it will bring up the reviews. So you can submit your own review with that button there. We could also search for reviews on the web. This will go to a Google search of other reputable travel websites and bring up their reviews. AllStays Pro has a few cool features for tent campers. One of the things to notice are the icons themselves. If you see an icon with an RV and a tent, that means both are accepted. If it is just a tent, that means it is tents only. If it is just a RV in the icon, that means it is RVs only. And also the icon shape. If it is a D, that means it is dispersed. There are not any definitive sites. It is more just open space camping. We can also go to the filter menu. Under the amenities option, we have a tents allowed filter that will filter for locations where a tent is possible. We could also go down more towards the bottom of the list and we could filter for campgrounds where only tents are allowed, no RVs. Or we could do the opposite as well and filter for campgrounds where it's RV only, tents are just not allowed. AllStays Pro lets you filter the map for camping based on elevation. We use our right side filter screen, go down to the bottom when we have elevation. We could be looking for very high level, over 10,000 foot campgrounds. We can combine them, so if we want to go a little bit lower, there's going to be many more. Or we could go on the opposite. We could go under 5,000 feet if you need to stay at lower elevation. That is certainly an option. You could step it up and add the next level and combine the two. AllStays Pro shows all truck stops on the map. We can go up to our filter button and we can choose to see just particular types of truck stops that we might like. We can choose the Loves, TA, our Flying J, and so on to really narrow down the list. We could also go to our truck dashboard. We could turn off some of these other options on there. And then we have more specific filters. So if we really want our truck stop with types of shipping options, different amenities, washers, showers, laundry, we could choose to filter for just a particular type or a couple of types to narrow down the list more. And we could also even narrow it down to some popular fast food options at the truck stop. And then on the map, when we click on a point, we'll have all the usual details. We'll have specific information as to what corner of the exit it is on, what direction you need to be headed, what lane you might need to be in. Then we have all the details on the location itself and our usual navigation options. AllStays has been tracking Walmart locations and parking since 2002. AllStays Pro takes information to its max. The main map will show all the Walmart stores. We can choose our filter button here under Stores and Supplies. At the very top, we can choose to see just stores that have parking and no parking. The icons show yellow if parking has been possible before, and red is a more definite no parking. Then we have a little S below on the icon that stands for Supercenter, and the NM stands for Neighborhood Markets, which are almost always no parking because of their size. We can take this a step further by using our dashboard option for Walmart parking. This will show only the Walmart stores and then bring up the more advanced filter down here where we can choose from all these different types of amenities. We could choose one that has just gas stations, which narrows it down in this area quite a bit. Or we could just be looking for one that's open 24 hours, has a tire and lube center, and maybe we can even narrow it down to a Subway. And then when we click on the store, we can see that we have handwritten directions for big rigs to find the store. And then we'll also have a variety of parking reports going way back down below. You can see on each location, all those are on there. You can see the history. AllStays Pro can provide you with more rest area information than any other resource. We have our main map here over Colorado. We can choose our filter button and then go to the rest area, fuel stop extra area. We can scroll down to where there's rest areas and welcome centers. And on the map, each icon will have a little arrow indicating the accessible direction. So this one here is accessible from east and westbound directions. This one here is a turnout for T. This one is accessible southbound only. Another option we have is up here in the dashboard. We can select rest stops, and then we have rest stop specific filters. So we could filter by direction, but you can already see that on the icon. So instead, maybe we want a picnic table and a vending machine, and that will filter the map. And we can select this one here and see that this has direction. It'll tell us how many parking spaces are there, restrooms, the picnic table, the vending machine. We might even have specific notes such as this one is soda only, recycling bins, any extra notes on the parking limits, things are allowed or not allowed are right on the menu there. AllStays Pro can help you find all kinds of RV dump stations. RV dumps can be at a standalone place which has its own icon type, which is blue with a standard dump icon in it. There are places that are not anything else, so this doesn't indicate places where a dump station is just one amenity or service option, such as a campground, a truck stop, a rest area, or a store. In order to find all the dump locations, you need to use the amenities filter. Under amenities, and it's near the top of the list, is our dump station option. We can turn the filter button back off, and we can see that we have them at all types of campgrounds around the area. We can scroll and find others. We can find them at truck stops, all over the place. AllStays Pro can help you find all kinds of propane locations. Propane can be a standalone place which has its own icon type, which is red with a white LP in it. These are places that are not anything else, so this doesn't indicate places where propane is just an amenity or service option, such as a campground, a truck stop, or a store. In order to find all propane locations, we tap the filter button and we use the amenities filter. It'll remember where you are in the list. You can actually see propane is near the top, and now it will show the propane locations at all types of locations. AllStays Pro can show elk lodges and moose lodges where members may be able to park overnight. So we can tap our filter button here over Florida, select our camping types that we can look through. Down near the bottom we have elk lodge and moose lodge. We can choose one or the other or both. Now remember that most all of these are not open to the general public. You do need to be a member at the lodge.